Is it possible that the Buffalo Public School Board has engaged in discrimination? Well, the New York Division of Human Rights says there could be reason to believe that. Of the more than 40 discrimination complaints that the board has faced now over the past 10 years, it had to pay a settlement 4 times. Now, this story tonight is about one of those cases. The complaint was filed by one of 16 black men who were laid off in the Plant Services Department 10 years ago. Our I-Team's Madison Carter spent more than 2 years looking into the decade-long battle by these men to try and get their jobs back.
Mario Hall is a carpenter, or at least he was until being laid off nearly 10 years ago. He was one of 16 black men let go by the Buffalo Schools Plant Services Department over a couple of years, starting in 2009.
It's just totally foul. It is.
After fighting for years to get his job back, Hall filed a complaint with the state in 2017, saying he was kept out of work because he's black. Last year, he claimed a partial victory. New York's Division of Human Rights found there was probable cause the district engaged in unlawful discrimination. To resolve the complaint, the school board offered him a settlement. It was just over a tenth of his annual salary working for the board, and only one of 4 times the district had to pay a complainant to settle a case in the last decade. Hall said he only filed that complaint to get his job back, but that wasn't a part of the settlement.
I went through a drastic change. I had 2 kids in college. I had my own apartment. I was working on a house. I had my own vehicle. I went bankrupt behind losing this.
During our first interview with Hall nearly 2 years ago, he asked for anonymity due to his pending case, which has now, of course, been settled. Hall is not the only person claiming the school board engaged in discriminatory practices. Our I-Team spoke with 9 of the 16 black men who say they were laid off by a white manager because of their race between 2009 and 2012.
These jobs pay 6-figure jobs. You take that away from them in a neighborhood that needs improvement, you're talking over $1.4 million in economic disenfranchisement.
Obi Efedebu became a plant services manager in 1990. He ran this department for 22 years, hiring all of the skilled workers, including the 16 black employees who were later laid off before the department who took their jobs eventually handed Efedebu the same fate. We spent 2 years working to make contact with that plant services director and finally found success weeks ago. He agreed to let us send our questions, then decided he would not provide comment for this story after reviewing our information. A decade ago, the Buffalo Schools Plant Services Department started laying people off, telling workers it was because of budget cuts.
Every budget year, they say every department you should cut a certain amount of money. But for the plant department, there's always a way to do it, again, without impacting people like this.
Efedebu's own position was eliminated in 2012. Again, the department said it was because of budget cuts. But he kept meticulous records of all hires to ensure the department's compliance with a diversity integration order from the state Supreme Court, an order that dates back to the 70s under Judge John Curtin's integration mandate. As the department laid off black workers in the early 2010s, their records show subsequent new hires were mostly white. Efedebu's records tell us in the 2008-2009 fiscal year, the skilled trade staff was at 40% minority. Today, according to records the district sent us, just 30% of the staff is black. But if you take a look at the administrators for plant services, by 2015, you can see it right on the board's website. All of the minority hiring managers have been eliminated. To this day, except for a black woman working in an unrelated department, every hiring manager is white. Joe Guziana continued to run that department until he retired at the end of last year.
Again, that's our reporter Madison Carter. Now, the Buffalo Schools Plant Services Department did not just eliminate black workers only. The district's own records now show that only white workers were hired in their place. We will detail how they did that. That's coming up tonight at 7 here on 7 Eyewitness News.